Hey dudes, Lilu here. So as you can see, the dreads have unfortunately been uninstalled, removed. I did that myself. It took about 4 hours to take all of the hair out and unravel it one by one. It was a very, very long process. It took as long to take them out as it did to install them, which is saying something. They were put in well and truly tight, and I have to say I lost a lot of hair in the process of removing them, but thank God my hair is quite strong and stiff, although my hair does feel a hell of a lot thinner than it did when I put them in before. But there you go. I absolutely loved having my dreadies for as long as I did, and I managed another couple of weeks after my last video when I had them in. And unfortunately got to a stage where work just would not accept it, and that sort of thing, and it was just time to take them out, unfortunately. But I do have them in my little drawer beside my bed with my other set of dreads as well that I had a couple of years back. So the plan is to get them just resealed and tidy them up a little bit, and then probably reinstall them again later in the year when I'm going away abroad or whatnot. We'll see how I get on anyway. So yeah, apart from the physical change of not having my dreads in at the moment, I've been doing a lot of stuff. Actually, it's been quite exciting. So I went to a bar called the Big Red, which is like a rocker bar, a good few weeks back, and bumped into some guys. This guy who rides motorcycles. Now, motorcycling is something that I've always been interested in since I was a kid, since I was a teenager. I remember a neighbour of mine who then became a good friend. His name, funny enough, was Tom, and he had this absolutely beautiful Suzuki, and then he had a Yamaha bike. And as a kid, I always used to go over there and sit on his bike, and he used to ride around with me on the back of it as well, with the helmet on and everything, which was really cool. And I always just absolutely loved being on the back of a motorcycle. And it was just one of those things that I always loved, and me and my best friend Matt at the time, when he was alive, used to talk about. But I hadn't really thought about, if I wanted to ride, just how easy the process would be and how easy it is to get into it. So anyway, I was at this club, I bumped into this guy, he had a lovely motorbike, we got chatting, and then I just kind of thought to myself, why the hell am I not riding? Like, I can easily afford it. It would save me a lot of money in the long run, riding into work and stuff. It would just be such a great mode of transport, and it would give me so much pleasure from being able to ride. So what the hell am I doing? So anyway, this guy kind of pushed me, just saying, go for it, just do it. So I came away from it, started looking up CBT courses, which is kind of like your provisional, except that it allows you to ride on the road alone with L plates, which is quite a scary thought, really. But thankfully, because obviously I've been on the road for however many years, and I know the road rules of the road and everything else, and I know what kind of idiots are on the road as well, I kind of feel like I could do it, and I'm quite excited by it. So booked my CBT. It was originally booked for this weekend, but there wasn't enough instructors, so they moved it to next weekend, which is the 8th and the 9th. Now, usually a CBT would only take about 4 hours, they normally would do it for, but I've got a whole weekend course booked, so I'm going to be riding for about 8 to 10 hours on the Saturday and the Sunday. And also the price included my theory test. So my theory test is on the 12th of August for my motorcycling. So all very, very scary and real, and I'm very nervous, and I have been revising my my theory test, and it is quite different from the driving test because it involves lots of other motorcycle mechanics, and the rules of the road are slightly different, like your road positioning and all that kind of stuff, and visibility, and having to do like a lifesaver glance, and there's lots of different things with a motorcycle, and different terminology compared to when you're driving a car. So trying to get my head around that at the moment, and trying to get as much revision under my belt as possible. But today was quite a big step for me, because I went to a motorcycle store near Gants Hill that I knew of and purchased my very first helmet, which is really exciting. So I know that I'm being a bit cheeky, because obviously I don't know really much about motorcycling, but I'm kind of looking at the roads and I'm seeing motorcyclists, and you know, that the fact they're not wearing protective gear, the fact that they're like not lit up, they're not very visible, And me as a driver, you know, motorcyclists, you know, when you see them behind you, if they're all in black, they do just kind of merge into the background. You don't really notice them. It really helps a driver to see someone with a really bright helmet or something. So I was like, fuck, I'm going to do this properly. I'm not going to put myself at risk or anything like that. So I went out and I bought myself some really decent gear. Spent a lot of money. So you can't really see it very well because it's just black. But I bought myself a nice motorbike jacket. And what I love so much about it is, like, it's heavily padded on the shoulders, heavily padded on the elbows, and then the whole back is just one big solid panel as well. So it's really, really strong, really decent jacket. It cost me just under £200, but it's a very small price to pay to save my life if I was to be involved in a bike accident. So that's my very first biking jacket, and I just to check who it's made by if anyone's interested in, because there are so many choices of motorcycling jackets and just motorcycle gear, and I didn't realise just how much choice there is. I mean, there is so much choice, and some of the biker jackets are obviously a lot cheaper, but then the back is just a sponge, like a thin sponge, and if you're to land on the floor at like 60 mile an hour, even 40 mile an hour, that's not going to protect you at all. That's going to just rip and it's going to really hurt your back. So I would definitely suggest or recommend to anyone who's starting to motorcycle to really put your money where it matters. So you know, get a second-hand bike because you're going to drop it and do that, but you know, spend a bit more on a decent jacket and certainly on a decent helmet, because they're going, you know, your life is priceless and you really can't afford to scrimp on that. So for me, I bought this jacket, and it's a let me just check, it's called Evelyn. It's made by Evelyn. It's got no reflectors on it, which I'm a bit disappointed with, but I tried quite a lot of them on, and that one was the one that fit me really nicely. And it's just really nice and very strong and very stiff in the places that matters. So I know that if I fell off my bike for whatever reason, I would be totally safe. And then this is the bit that really excites me, getting my first helmet. So here's my helmet as well. It's very colourful. It's very pink, very luminous and pink. It took me a while actually to choose a helmet, because obviously there's so many helmets that are black and dull, and then there's bright white helmets, but I was like, oh, I really want something that's got a bit of my personality in it. And then I saw this one, and it's got white on it and it's got pink on it, and it's quite funky as well. It's got like little funky patterns and stuff. And what's really cool as well that I really liked about it is if I just kind of lift the visor up at the front, I've got this thing here as well. If I just flip it, so I've got, I don't know if you can see that, so I've got the tinted visor that comes down as well if there's any sunlight, and just push that and goes back up. And also I've got this thing on the inside as well, so that if I'm talking or anything, or breathing quite heavily in here, it's called a what is it called? It's called like a air pin or something, so that when you're breathing it doesn't steam up, it stays unsteamed. So yeah, that's quite cool as well. So I won't get steaming up in here, and I won't have to open my helmet every time when it starts steaming, or if it's raining and I get a little bit warm and I'm breathing in there as well. So that helmet as well, that cost me £169. But they gave me a discount because it's my first load of gear, and obviously because I'm doing my CBT, so they gave me a little discount on that, which is really cool. So for my biking jacket and for my helmet, it did cost me about 322 quid. But for me, I think that's actually really cheap for something that could potentially save my life. So certainly I didn't want to scrimp on that. I wanted to do it really like properly if I was going to do it. So yeah, I've got my CBT next week, theory test a few days later. Very, very exciting, very scary. I can't wait to have a bike, so that will be my next thing. I'm not going to wear my helmet to my CBT because inevitably it's my first time I'm on it. I might fall off the bike, who knows, and I don't want to scuff it, so I'd rather do my CBT, get used to riding for a couple of days, and then obviously when I get my bike I'll be on it with my own helmet and my own jacket. But I will bring my jacket to the CBT just to be safe. So that's one of the really big awesome things that I'm doing soon, and I'm quite excited about. Other than that, I've been just kind of doing the usual stuff, crocheting, drawing, all of that sort of thing. I had a really interesting life drawing class on the Friday just gone, which was in ZSL London Zoo. That's what it used to be known as, London Zoo. And it was in the Tropical Birdhouse, and usually when we do life drawing, it's just, you know, the model stands still, we kind of draw them for a little bit, and then they might move every half hour to another pose, and that's that. But with this life drawing class, the models were moving quite freely, slowly but quite freely throughout the whole building, and they would stop for about a minute at best, minute, 2 minutes, and then it would continue to move again. So it was a very different class. They were kind of free moving like the animals and like the birds within the aviary, so it was very, very interesting. They had these like feather headdresses and pieces on them, which made them look more tribal and animal looking. So it was a very unique, different class for me, which I really thoroughly enjoyed actually. It was very, very good. So I have been keeping with my art stuff and my crochet stuff, and just kind of enjoying things generally, and I'm really excited about my CBT, and I can't wait to start looking at second-hand bikes, so then get my first bike on the road, ride to work every day, make sure it's a decent vehicle. I don't want to scrimp on that either, but at the same time I don't want to spend a fortune because I know inevitably I'm going to drop it, things like that you do in your first couple of years on the road, and then I will be eventually doing my full-time license. So it's really, I've been quite busy the last few weeks. It's been really enjoyable and I'm quite excited. And yeah, also I've booked my hotels for Las Vegas now, and I've booked the hotel for LA, so that's all done. The only thing that we need to book now is our hire cars to drive from Vegas to LA in November, so that's also something that's really exciting. If anyone has any kind of tips on riding, or you know, because like I said, I'm a total novice at this, I don't know anything about it. I've kind of trying to revise things online, and it's all coming like brand new to me. It's very weird. So if anyone's got any tips on riding the CBT, biker gear that you'd recommend, if anybody has any tips on good places to hire vehicles from in Vegas, if anyone has any tips on good places to visit while I'm in Vegas and LA with Tom and my friends, that would be awesome as well. I really appreciate all of your feedback because that's quite exciting, and that's only in the next few months. We've got to wait. My birthday's coming up in the next month, so again I'll be 32. I'm cracking on a bit, so life is, yeah, going at quite a fast pace at the moment, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to being a rainbow rider. That's what I'm gonna call myself. And I was looking to actually get a custom helmet and have it spray painted rainbow and leopard print. So watch this space. This is my first helmet, but you know, I want 2 helmets. I don't just want one, so I'm gonna probably have a look at other helmets as well when customizing them. But so yeah, anyway, quite excited, had to put that up, and I hope to speak to you guys real soon for another load of vlog rubbish. Speak to you soon, take care, bye.